5 years ago, I learned one of the most important lessons of my life. It happened on a day in San Francisco in a taxi. I hailed a taxi on the road and headed towards the central square. We were driving in the right lane when suddenly, a black car darted out from the side and cut in front of us. My taxi driver slammed on the brakes, skidding just inches away from hitting the black car. The driver of the black car, the one who almost caused a major accident, rolled down his window and started yelling obscenities at us. My taxi driver simply smiled and waved at him. I was incredulous and asked him why he did that. That guy almost wrecked your car and could have seriously injured us. My taxi driver then explained to me, I call it the garbage truck rule. Many people are like garbage trucks. They go around filled with garbage, full of frustration, anger, and disappointment. As their garbage accumulates, they look for a place to dump it, and if they encounter you, they will dump it on you. When someone tries to dump garbage on you, don't take it to heart. Instead, just smile, wave, wish them good luck, and keep moving forward. By maintaining a positive and optimistic attitude, we can better handle any situation and make our lives happier and more fulfilling. One day, a chemistry professor decided to give his students a unique lesson. He held a glass of water in his hand and asked the students, "How much do you think this glass of water weighs?" 500 grams, a sound came from behind. Another student said 600 grams. The professor said, "I really don't know." He raised the cup to ensure that everyone could see it. We won't know unless we weigh it. Holding the cup in his hand, the professor continued, "What would happen if I held it like this for a few minutes?" "Nothing will happen," someone answered. "That's right. What would happen if I held it like this for an hour?" "Your hands will start to hurt," said a student. "Indeed. What if I continue like this for 24 hours? "You will be in great pain," said a student. "Your hands may become numb," said another. "Your arm will be paralyzed. We need to take you to the hospital as soon as possible," said a student in the last row. "That's right," the professor said, "but please note that the weight of the cup hasn't changed, so what exactly caused the pain?" The classroom quieted down and the students seemed confused. "What can I do to avoid pain?" the professor asked. "Put down the cup," a student said. "Good point," the professor exclaimed in admiration. "This is the lesson I want you to remember. Problems and troubles in life are like a glass of water. Think about them for a while, nothing will happen. But if you think about them for a long time, they will start to cause pain. If you think about them all day long, you will feel paralyzed and unable to do anything. The important thing is to remember to put down your problems and put down your..." The prince decided to get married and invited all the single ladies in order to find his desired wife. When the old maid in the palace heard about this, she was very sad because her daughter secretly fell in love with the prince. Her daughter said, "I'm going to participate in this activity." But her mother told her, "You have no chance. You are neither rich nor famous." The daughter replied, "I know the prince won't choose me, but now I can see him at least once. The big day is coming, and every lady is dressed up to attend." The prince told the women, "I will give each of you a seed, and in 6 months, the one who can plant the most beautiful flowers will marry me." The women left with the seeds, and the maid's daughter consulted with many gardeners, but her seeds still did not grow. 6 months later, the day came when she stood there holding an empty pot, while others held various brightly colored flowers. The prince looked at each pot and finally said, "The maid's daughter will become my wife." Everyone felt frustrated and wondered why the prince chose someone who had not grown flowers. The prince explained, "She is the only person qualified to be my wife. She has brought me the flower of honesty, and all the seeds I have given away are dead. None of them can sprout, let alone grow into flowers." A soldier preparing to return home after experiencing war and combat. Before going home, he called his parents, and the soldier said, "Mom and Dad, I'm going home, but I have a request. I have a friend, and I want to take him home with me." "Of course, we would be happy to meet him," they replied. Then the son continued, "There are some things you should know about him. He was severely injured while fighting there. He stepped on a landmine, causing him to lose one leg and one arm. He has nowhere else to go. I want him to come and live with us." The parents replied, "We are very sad to hear this news, child. We can help him find a place to live." The son replied, "No, Mom and Dad, I want him to live with us." Father said, "But son, you don't know what you're asking for. People with this disability will become a burden on us. We have our own lives to live, and we can't let this interfere with our lives. You should go home and forget about that person." After speaking, the son hung up the phone. Since then, his parents have never heard from him again. A few days later, the parents received a call from the police, who told them that their son had died after falling from a building. The police believed it was a suicide, and the grieving parents flew there and went to the city morgue to claim the body. They recognized him, but were shocked to find that their son only had one arm and one leg. In our lives, it's easy to fall in love with those who look glamorous, but we don't like those who may cause inconvenience. We tend to stay away from those who are not as beautiful, intelligent, or healthy as us. Regardless of the situation, we should cherish life because we never know what will happen next.
A story is told about a young Thomas Edison who came home one day with a paper for his mother. He told her, "My teacher told me to give this paper only to my mother." Thomas's mother read the note and her eyes filled with tears. Thomas asked his mother what the note said, and she read aloud, "Your son is a genius. This school is too small for him and doesn't have enough good teachers for training him. Please teach him yourself." And that's exactly what Thomas's mother did. She homeschooled her child with devotion and dedication. As the story goes, many years later, after Thomas Edison's mother passed on, and he was now one of the world's greatest inventors, he found a folded paper among other family items. He opened the very same paper that had been handed to him to give to his mother and read the following message: "Your son is mentally ill. We won't let him come to school anymore." At that moment, Edison realized what his mother had done for him so many years ago. He wrote in his diary, "Thomas Alva Edison was an addled child that by a hero mother became the genius of the century. The words of the reckless pierce like swords, but the tongue of the wise brings healing." Let's take this message to heart and resolve to use our words for healing today. You might be a parent. What do you say to your children? You might be a teacher. What do you say to your student? Especially the ones that are not really performing well presently. May the words you use today change a life for the better.